Mate, Xavier, so 30 leads, 10 appointments, and 3 listings. Man, that's awesome.
Thanks, man.
So what I'm keen to do today for everyone listening is to walk you through the process, walk them through the process, because converting 30 leads to 10 appointments is just ridiculous. So a new lead comes in directly to your Facebook Messenger. What are the steps you take, Xavier?
Yeah, so once they inquire, so obviously the automated messages that you guys do. So once I go into my inbox and see that they've asked for an appraisal, usually what I do is I do the appraisal straight away. I try and do it as straight as I can. So I use the Core Logic app, and that will give me, I'll do some research on the property first. I'll look at it, check out the zoning, check out the location, and because it's mostly in the area that I've targeted, that you guys have targeted for me, I'll then do an appraisal, but obviously have it as a wider range. So in terms of like how I get the contact,
Mm.
I then send I just send it's a copy paste message. So it's just to say, hey, thank you so much for requesting a free market valuation of your home.
Yeah.
So it's not like word for word, but it's along the lines of if you want a more accurate one, it will be better for me to come over and see it face to face.
And that's sent via email or sent via text message? How is that?
I send it by all three. So I send it through Facebook. I send it by email. So I send a message on Facebook, but I send a report by email.
Yeah.
And then I follow up with a text. So I send a text to say, hey, how's it going? You've just sent you the email report. So, and then after that, I'll usually leave for like maybe 3 or 4 days, and then I'll give them a follow-up call, and just to say, hey, how's it going? It's Xavier again from Ray White. You were requested an appraisal, free market valuation of your home a couple of days ago. Did you get it? Because usually if I got them on phone, Facebook, text, all of them have said, yep, we got it. So so just wanted to know what your situation was. Did you just get it to know, or are you looking at selling? What's your situation? And so a couple of them said that, we are looking at selling potentially next year, or end of this year. The one that I got was one that led to two. Was referral. So they were looking to they saw my ad, and then they referred their cousin. And then I got in contact with cousin, made the contact, and then went over there, booked the appointment, and then and then they got the deal done. So I've got the listing.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. Yeah.
So can we walk through a little bit more on what you say over the phone? Because that's often what makes or breaks a phone call, is the tonality, what you say, how you say it, and often that's the difference between a great agent and a good agent, is how you talk and how you come across on the phone. Would you mind if I be the homeowner and you be yourself following up? Yeah.
For
Do a
sure.
bit of a role play. So I'm down in South Auckland, and I'll just play it out. So g'day, it's Ben here.
Hey, how's it going, Ben? It's Xavier from Ray White Mangry. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you, Xavier?
Yeah, good, Ben. Hey, Ben, it's just a real quick call. I don't know if you remember, but you Facebooked for a free market valuation of your home.
Yep.
A couple of days ago. Yeah. So look, I just wanted to follow up and just see what obviously if you got it. Did you get it?
Yeah. Came through by email, and had a quick look at it.
Okay, no worries. Look, it's just a follow-up call, and obviously, a lot of people, they just want to know what the value of the house is, or they might have plans later on to sell, or so. Where do you fit? Are you looking at selling, not now, potentially later on, or were you just looking to get a value of your home, or are you looking to downsize? What's your situation at the moment?
To be honest, I was a bit cheeky. Just keen to just see kind of what the house is worth. I've done a few renovations, and just keen to see what's the kind of the latest market value of where my home might be sitting.
Okay, no worries. Ben, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you currently living in your dream home?
No. This is one step before that.
Oh, okay. So you've had thoughts of potentially moving, downsizing or upsizing, or
Yeah. When I have the money, I'm kind of saving at the moment and just renovating and trying to add some value to the house, and
okay,
hopefully then I can upsize.
okay. Oh, no, always. Where would you upsize to? If you were to, obviously, if you were to sell, if not saying, not saying you are, but if you were, have you researched any areas you're looking at moving into, or what areas would you are you considering?
Probably that Menuera area.
Manurewa. Oh, why is that?
I just got some family around there, and yeah, it's a nice place, and the school
Okay.
zone.
Okay. And what kind of house would you be looking for if you were to move to Monroe? I mean, would you be looking for a bigger house than what you currently have, or a bigger section, or?
Yeah, three bedroom home.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, just see what I can afford basically when I go to sell the current one I'm in.
Okay. I'll say you're definitely selling. So not maybe not now, but you're definitely selling. Maybe once everything's all done.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, awesome. Well, look, on that note, look, I noticed that your street is quite a good street, and the appraisal range I gave you. I mean, does that appraisal range? Because obviously, I haven't seen your property because I haven't seen the renovations which you've done. Does it kind of fit in line with where you saw it, or have you ever had someone do a market valuation on your home before, or was this the first time?
This is the first time. So
Oh,
I'm not too sure where it would sit.
okay. Well, Ben, look, I'm actually in the area this week. I've actually got a few more appraisals to do because, look, the one that I gave you, it doesn't really take into account the renovations that you're doing right now. So, obviously, I'll be in the street, in your street this week, talking to a few homeowners and giving them their updated value. Why don't I pop over for about 2, 3 minutes? Anytime this week, I'll be there between Tuesday and Friday. And then I can have a look at the renovations, give you some tips, and give you some free feedback on what you can do better for your house to add more value. How does that sound?
Xavier, that sounds good, man. That sounds good. Wednesday's good for me.
Awesome. Wednesday, you prefer the morning or the afternoon or the evening?
Evening. Thanks.
Awesome. Evening. Okay. No, awesome. So I'll pop over after 6. Is that okay?
Sounds good, Xavier. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
No worries, Ben. So I've flicked it through to you. And before I do, I'll flick you some information about myself, some more detailed information before I come over. Have a quick look. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks, Ben. Take
Thank
care.
you, man. Thanks, Xavier. Cheers, man.
Bye. Yeah, bro.
Perfect.
Pretty much.
I like
Yeah.
that. To tell us a little bit more about that approach. Walk us through the questions. Like, there's a reason by that you took that approach, right? You didn't jump straight into it. You didn't go. You asked a lot of questions. What can you break that down a little bit more?
Yeah, I try and get to know them. I try not to go into the sales mode,
Yeah.
but I try and find out a little bit about who they are and also what would be the trigger for them to potentially look at selling.
Right.
So I try and find out what's the time frame, what would be their main motivation. So you told me you're looking at moving to Manurewa, and then obviously then I go back to, okay, what's stopping you, so what can get the ball rolling, and just trying to build their trust. And then I try and throw in a little Jones theory that I'll be in the street, so it kind of doesn't make it seem desperate.
Yes.
So look, I'm doing what others are. You're doing what others are doing. I'll be in the street, and then I try and give like a time that I kind of doesn't mean that I'm desperately waiting for them to give me a time to come over, but I give them an alternative. Would you prefer the morning, the evening, the afternoon? Give me and then after that, I'll send a text. And then I'll also send like some information about myself leading up to it. So leading up to the meeting, I'll send through like maybe some testimonials. Hey, how's it going, Ben? Look forward to meeting you. Please find some testimonials about myself and my service and my team.
Yep.
Again, looking forward to meeting you. And then another one, hey Ben, just a reminder. Look forward to meeting you. Please find my current listings at the moment. The market's crazy. Blah, blah. So I try and give some information to them prior to meeting them. So when I meet them, it's not all kind of cold. It's pretty much warm. They know about me. They know what I'm about. They know what I'm selling. They know that I'm a local expert. They know that I'm not new to this.
Yes.
So yeah, man. So that's pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, man, that I really appreciate that breakdown. I think there's a lot of young agents out there who would take bits and pieces from your call, and also just understanding why you said those types of questions. You're not just there's a process and a reason behind everything that you mentioned. It's not You're not just spinning a yarn. There's a bit of a structure to every single call.
Yeah.
Mate, so a quick question on that. So how do you, when you turn up to the house, like what's the plan? Like, are you just going to see how things go with the flow? You said you're going to come for 3 to 4 minutes. Um, that's quite a short amount of time. I assume that it often turns out to be a bit longer than 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh, it will. It's usually just a quick filler. By human nature, we're programmed to say, "Hey, it's quick, it's simple, it's easy, it's free." But when we get there, the whole purpose is just to build the rapport. So when I get there, I always have an icebreaker before I even walk through the door. So I'll find something, if it's a dog or if it's my socks that I'm wearing, or,
Yeah.
hey, it's not I'm not here to try and, convert you to religion, so I always try and find a middle ground.
Yeah.
And then once I'm there, then I say, hey, awesome, thank you so much, Ben. Hey, take me through the house, show me what you've done. Take me for a tour.
Yeah.
So he'll take me for a tour, and then I'll just try and find ways to build a relationship. Whether you might be a book that's lying there, or it might be a poster, or it might be something with the house.
Yeah.
Just try and find a common ground. And then after that, I'll lead them to the table. Hey, that's a good seat, and then I'll walk towards that table. If you sit in the lounge, you get a bit too relaxed, you start falling asleep, and then, you get a bit too cozy. So once I sit down on the table, and then, as I sit down, then I say, okay, awesome. And I'll clap my hand. Awesome. So you're definitely looking to sell, Ben, and, definitely looking to sell. So, because usually some people will be telling you, oh, they just want an appraisal, but then when I get there, I'm expecting an appraisal, but then, man, I should have bought my listing agreement because they're ready to sell. So, because sometimes they've already made up their mind. Once you've contacted them, leading up to it, they've probably already made up their mind that they need to sell.
Yeah.
So then I'll sit down and at the table and say, hey, Ben, awesome. So you're definitely looking to sell, and I'll just, I'll be quiet, and then basically, then I'll know what kind of turn. Yeah. So if they say yes, Xavier, definitely to say awesome. So let's cut through let's cut through the fluff. Let's begin with price. So then I try and, so go for the price. I go for the comparable sales.
Yeah.
I'll say, okay, so what price are you at, Ben? From what appraisal? Are you thinking the same, or are you above the appraised range, or are you below? Or where are you at? If they say, oh, look, man, I'm probably a bit above. Okay, awesome. Look, what I'll do is I'll sit down here with you, and I'll go through all the sales, and we'll just go through the sales. I'll show them, hey, look, this one's similar land, similar features, sold for this much. So depending on the title of conversation, I'll know where to swing it.
Yeah.
If the appraisal range falls in line, then really it's just the price, the sales method, and then also the marketing commission. Yeah. I'll talk about the commission, but I'll touch basically upon the commission. So hey, look, it's 4.25 on the first 400, 2.5 on the balance. We're not the highest, we're not the lowest, but we're somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Sounds good. Very impulsive. So man.
Cool. And that's obviously the perfect scenario, isn't it? They come in, they go, actually, I'm actually thinking about selling, and you go through the whole shebang. How do you leave it if they say, thanks so much, and you say, obviously, you've looked around the house, you've got all the information you need. How do you leave it if they say, no, we're not looking at selling, but you've obviously
I always get that. I try and be as informative as I can be. So basically I try and over educate them. So obviously this is a price. If you were to sell, I do recommend going through this way, by sales method. Auction. This is what can happen at the auction. This is worst case scenario. If it doesn't sell at the auction, this is the reason why auction's the best selling method for your property. So I go through all those different different stages. And then, when it gets to the end of it, okay, Xavier, can we, we'll think about it. Awesome. So, look, on their note, guys, and then I try and impulse them. Look, the market is hot right now, and then I try and educate them, with the LVR being low, the interest rates being lowest, more than 10 years. But I don't give them any financial advice. I mean, sometimes they might say, okay, Xavier, we've got this much left on the mortgage. We're wanting to sell, but we just don't know if we can get another one. So look, best to talk with your bank or your broker. Obviously you can use this appraisal as a price guide in terms of what your house should sell for. And in that way, the broker or the banker can crunch some numbers. So I try and over-educate them, and then leave them on a positive note. And then after that, I'll just keep in contact with them, whether it's through calls, texts, emails. And then you're just going to get them say, hey, look, Xavier, we're ready to sell now. So it's just one of those things. You just got to keep in contact with them after that.
Yeah. No, mate, that was appreciate that full, really comprehensive breakdown. And so just to kind of go back a little bit. So what are the steps? The lead comes in. Do they go into your database straight away? What behind the scenes, what goes on? Like, so obviously
saves on my phone.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
It will go on my on the CRM that we're using, which is desktop or my vault. So they'll get the emails, and then it'll get saved to my phone. So they'll get my calls, my texts, and then as well as that, Facebook. I try and add them as a friend on Facebook. That's been really key as well.
Oh, really?
Because they see, I mean, I'll send a message to them, say, hey, hope you don't mind. I'm always updating every homeowner in the market. Look, I'm just going to send for a quick friend request. Let me know if you're okay with it. I've only had one person say no, they're fine. But I always try and bring it back to keeping you up to date with the market. Because everyone's on Facebook these days. So hey, look, because everyone's on Facebook these days, I've got a business page. I've got over 3,000 followers. I'm happy to keep you up to date. I'll just send you a quick Facebook request. Sounds good? They're like, okay, that's all good. So you send them a Facebook request, and then they see your stories, they see your posts. So vice versa.
Yeah. And so what does the nurture process look like? You don't get the listing. Is there a process you have in place with following up with them on a every quarter, or what's your nurture process currently?
Every quarter, they'll receive a phone call from my team, a quarterly call. They'll receive my monthly email with all the sales, like a market snapshot of that area. And then obviously maybe once a month text, just a market update. So they're getting my texts, they're getting my calls, they're getting my emails, they're getting my Facebook. So, and I always send them a link on my Facebook as well through Messenger, just to keep posted with the area. As an area expert, please like my page. So they're getting all four forms of contact. So it's very, very hard to not get the business.
Yes. No, that makes total sense. And so what's the reason behind, I know that I know the reason behind it, but what's your reason behind having a monthly email and market?
Well, it's just a market snapshot, it's kind of like people don't want to be spammed, but then people also want to know what's selling in the area. It's kind of like, it's kind of like your coffee news that you see, at your local cafe or, takeaway. It's interesting, you pick it up, you read it. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Obviously those people, they're very cold. They're not in the market. But then obviously they would come on the market should they get the right price, or should the family situation change, or, should something urgent come up. So everyone's always in the market at the right price, that's what I feel. But I've lost so many listings with people that I just had on my database, but I didn't keep in contact. So you can do because the leads don't come really from the appraisals. The appraisals is getting you in the door. Because to get a contact is very hard. To get someone's email, contact number, full name, that's very hard, So the good thing about what you do is, it kind of gets me in the door and introduces me to them. It's very straightforward, hey, I'm here to do a free market assessment on your home. And then once I get them, add them to the phone, Facebook, email, and just keep in contact with them, because they will come to say they want to sell, you just got to keep them, frequency builds trust, that's the way I see it.
Yes. Hey, Xavier, man, thanks for this call. I know a lot of people have got a lot of value out of this. Just one more question. It's around time management. We have a lot of agents working with us who say they're too busy. to get stuff done. I know from yourself, I just want to know, like, you know, you're an extremely busy guy. You're listing and selling a lot of properties per month. How do you manage to what do you do to manage your time so you can still get an chance to talk to me on the phone or to create a video? Like, how do you manage your time, and what's your plan? Like, how do you do this so you can actually have time with clients and business partners like myself?
Yeah, I mean, like when I first started as a newbie, because I've only been in the game for 3 years, I was only maybe getting 1 or 2 listings, so very easy, you know. In the mornings, I would hunt. That's what I call my hunting hours. So I'll be hunting for buyers, doing buyer appointments. Because I wasn't getting many listings, I was working other people's properties. So in the mornings, I'd be working buyers.
Yep.
I'd be doing all my cold calling, and in the afternoons, I'd have appointments set up. So AM is hunt, and then PM is appointments, you know. That's where, but then as I got busier, at the moment, I'm probably getting on average 8 to 10 listings a month, 8 to 10 auctions a month. I've got a team, you know, I've got 2 associates that work under me. I've got my wife as my PA. So, you know, my wife does all the you know, not the dollar productive stuff. So that's all the paperwork, admin, you know, managing past clients and all that stuff, managing us as a team. And then I've got my 2 associates who work the buyers, who prospect lead generation as well. So for me, my main job is just to bring in the business, bring in the stock, manage the vendors.
Yes.
You know, which is the big, you know, of the business. Because if you can't manage the vendors' expectations, then you really, you know, you can't sell it, you know. So it's just being very transparent, very honest with the vendors, and bringing in the stock, bringing in the business. And then I have what you call 3 types of, in terms of every lead goes into 3 categories. So, you know, pipeline A would be they're looking to sell in a month. Pipeline B, they're looking to sell within 3 months. And then pipeline C is, you know, 6 months plus.
Yeah.
So I have each associate designated to each, you know, each spreadsheet. So I'm pipeline A. If they're looking to sell within a month, that's me. And then the other 2 associates handle the other ones.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you so much, man.